Note-taking for consecutive interpreting. We are going to take a look today at one of the techniques that will help you to nail down every fact, every number, every name, every nuance of style, every logical link, and all of the rest of the message, so that when you give your interpretation to your client will say, "Wow, how did you do that? Is that shorthand?" Of course it's not shorthand, as we all know, but they often ask that, right? David Violet here, we're going to look at one technique that we can use in consecutive interpreting with notes. So let's dig in. Throughout this video, I will be maybe talking about links. You will find those links in the description area below. And please don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this video, if you find it useful, if you've learned something, please give a like to it. And most of all, please add your comments down below. We'd like to know what you think. What are the best techniques that you know of? What do you think about this technique? The technique we're going to be looking at today is virtual columns. What does that mean? Virtual columns. It means that you divide your page into three separate columns. These are mental columns where you will put subject, verb, and object. The technique of virtual columns is one that goes along with many others, including the SVO units, the diagonal writing, and symbols, etc. Many techniques that can be put together and used to give a good consecutive. Of course, we also like to teach how do you practice, because the best you can do, in addition to learning all these techniques, is practicing a lot, usually with a colleague. And we teach how to do the best practice, also a practice method. To show you this technique, what I would like to do is show you a video of my talk at the ATA conference last October. I can tell you that I got excellent reviews, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I will be showing you one part of that talk that's all about these virtual columns, which is one of the techniques that I think you will need in order to do the excellent consecutive that you will do wherever you may be, in court, at a fancy dinner speech, at a political event, or wherever it may be. You will need these techniques along with many hours of practice in order to do your fantastic consecutive with notes.
Virtual columns. So the idea behind virtual columns is within each box, you create in your mind three columns, three areas for these to be used, the SVO. And by using columns, you give more meaning to each item without having to write more. So we have SVO. I'm going to use a symbol. I actually learned this symbol. Madeleine Giraud taught me this symbol in 1984. It's a nice symbol that's been used by a lot of interpreters for industry because it starts with an I and it looks a little bit like a smokestack. The idea is an eye with smoke coming out. So I'm going to use that symbol to illustrate this idea of the three virtual columns. You can put this symbol in any of these columns, and it is given extra meaning simply by its placement. The first one, it would mean industry, the subject of a sentence. In the middle, it would be some kind of verb. So, for example, industrialize something. Or in the third column, it would be, well, we have done a lot of work to improve our industry at the end of as an object. Here we see it again. Cuba is industrializing the East, for example, or industry is happy about the new law, number two. And number three, India is developing its industry. So according to where you place it, it has extra meaning, which means you get to write less by placing it in a specific place. It doesn't change. It maintains its form. That's important because we'll see that later with words as well. So we see how it appears in these three places and has slightly different meaning thanks to its placement.
And so the video kept going on to another technique. And watch this space. Other techniques will appear in another video. Let me show you something about that conference, because it was my performance, my talk was evaluated, and I'd like to show you something. Watch this. So here we are at the American Translator Association's 61st Annual Conference, October 21st to 24th last year, 2020. And there is my talk on the 24th at 12:30 p.m. And here are the evaluations they gave me afterwards. Virtual conference, October 20th, David Violet, 31 excellent out of 41, and 10 good, again, out of 41. I just thought I might show you this because I'm pretty proud of it. And please use the QR codes to go to a page where you can read through all of the evaluations. And let's not forget my free course on symbols. Symbols is another part of note-taking. And you can access that course for free using the QR code on the screen or using one of these links down below on this YouTube channel. I hope that you will find this technique of virtual columns useful. Of course, it has to be integrated into an overall technique and used with a lot of practice. And we'll take a look at all those other techniques at the next video. Please give me a like below and give your comments and subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you soon.